The Sky is Out of Reach by Calidus. I would like to thank Calidus for being a member of the channel for over a year now. This is a bonus reading for him as a way of saying thank you. Scootaloo milled about her Ponyville home. It was cleaner than most ponies would expect of the tomboy filly, but she was more responsible for her age than her scooter antics would normally indicate. Her parents were home on one of their rare vacations. Most ponies go somewhere fun or exotic for vacations, but since her parents spent a lot of time travelling in dangerous places, their idea of a vacation was coming home and doing as little as possible. It wasn't common knowledge, but Scootaloo's mum was the Equestria-wide famous exotic wildlife expert, Maine Allgood. Maine was an elegant Pegasus with an orange coat and golden blonde mane. She was almost like Applejack with wings, but with purple eyes. Her father, Snapshutter, was an earth pony with a boring brown coat, but with a wild purple mane. Snap worked as her mum's wildlife photographer, and it was only natural that they would fall in love at some point. Scootaloo's orange coat matched her mum's coat, and her mane matched her dad's mane. There was no doubt who her dad was, but that was half the problem. Snapshutter was a big stallion, as big as Big Mac. That earth pony heritage was why Scootaloo couldn't fly. Her wings were too small and her bones were too dense and heavy. She had put this off long enough, and it was time to join her parents in the living room. Maine and Snap were drinking wine and being lovey-dovey on the couch, which made Scootaloo gag. "Do you guys have to do that in the living room? You have a bedroom, you know." Maine smiled. "We're just trying to relax and enjoy ourselves in the comfort of our own home. Believe it or not, we don't get much romance while we travel because we are always in dangerous areas, and we have to be careful." Scootaloo knew that was true, but she snorted. "That doesn't mean I want to see it. Besides, you're a little old for another foal. You wouldn't want another accident like me." Her words chilled the room, killing the mood. Even if she had meant it as a joke, part of her knew that her parents wouldn't allow a statement like that to go unchallenged, and maybe that was the point. She was quickly becoming her own mare, and she had put off this conversation long enough. Maine cleared her throat. "Scootaloo dear, you weren't a mistake." Bitterly, Scootaloo answered, "Wasn't I? I remember Aunt Lofty saying once that you lost a chance to win the equestrian prize for science the year after I was born because I was too young for you to leave me in the care of others. It was the closest you had ever been to earning that coveted award, and the chance never came again. I ruined your career." Maine winced. "You weren't supposed to know that. You might not have been planned, but you weren't a mistake." Scootaloo snorted. "Planned? Yeah, which is why I'm an only foal. Your life is too busy for foals, which is why you clearly never had any more. Or is it because of my disability?" Snap gasped. "Scootaloo, you don't have a disability." Scootaloo's deadpan stare shook her otherwise strong father. "I can't fly. What else would you call it?" Maine looked away. "Genetics?" Scootaloo knew that the scientist in her mother would try to play this off one way or another, but she had spent too much time alone, too much time thinking about her situation to allow them to escape the reality of what they put her through. "Mum, with all due respect, I'm half Pegasus and half Earth Pony, but my wings are small and my bones are dense without the normal supporting muscle. I can't fly like a Pegasus, and I lack Earth Pony strength. It's like I got a double recessive gene set. I'm useless as either a Pegasus or as an earth pony. Even my cutie mark shows a talent at helping other ponies find their talents. It's a mark for a pony that is neither suited for traditional Pegasus or earth pony work. At best, I'll end up working as a teacher, maybe at Twilight's School of Friendship. At worst, find a husband that will support me. Snap was trying to be reasonable and supportive. There is nothing wrong with being a teacher and nothing wrong with getting married. Also, there's nothing wrong with being a married teacher. It's not like we expected you to follow in our footsteps as a scientist or photographer, and even if your mum doesn't want to admit it, we are both looking forward to being grandparents someday. The admission hit Scootaloo hard. She loved her parents, and as a younger filly, she was always happy to see them come back, but that excitement lessened the older she got. And now she had a chance to disappoint them again by not getting married. Scootaloo looked at him. Yeah? Like I have a line of colts a mile long waiting to date me. The tomboy that most ponies barely tolerate. And yeah, being a teacher is a good paying job, but let's face facts. I'm a disappointment to both of you because I can't fly like a Pegasus and lack the earth pony strength. You had to leave me at home with my aunts instead of taking me with you. I would put every expedition at risk by not being able to carry my weight. If this isn't a disability and I'm not a mistake, then why didn't you have more foals? Mane and Snap couldn't answer. They didn't have a good excuse. Finally, Mane sighed. A lot of families only have one foal. There's nothing wrong with being an only foal. Scootaloo sighed. Maybe, but it's been a boring life. I've made good friends, but it's not the same as having parents or siblings. I practically raised myself. The aunts come over only often enough to make sure I'm not dead. Mane and Snap exchanged glances. They didn't know that Scootaloo had felt this way, but they should have been able to guess. Or maybe it was fairer to say that they could have guessed if they knew her better. Mane and Snap had been in Ponyville for less than 1/3 of Scootaloo's entire life. At times it felt like they were guests in Scootaloo's house instead of coming home to their own house. Mane tried to steer the conversation. What is the future you see yourself having? Scootaloo shrugged. Honestly, I'll probably be a teacher with 3 cats. Sorry to disappoint you again, but I don't see myself getting married. Snap cocked his head. Why not? Surely there's a colt out there for you. Scootaloo snorted. Can either of you name a colt my age that lives in Ponyville? Mane and Snap exchanged another meaningful and now worried glance. Mane racked her brain. Rumble? Snap also seemed to think. Button Mash? Scootaloo shook her head. I'd be tempted to call that luck, but instead I'll point out that Mum named a Pegasus and Dad named an Earth Pony. But, oh no, there's no tribalism in this family. Mane's eyes flashed with an anger that the public never saw. That's enough! This isn't about tribes! Snap wanted to support Mane's point, but Scootaloo cut him off. Of course it's about tribes! If I marry Rumble, my foals will be 3/4 Pegasi. There's a good chance that my foals will be able to fly, but it'll be heartbreaking not to be able to fly with them, ever. If I marry Button Mash, my foals will be 3/4 Earth Ponies, and there is a good chance that they would be born as Earth Ponies without wings at all. But would they be resentful to have a Pegasus mum and not have wings? Or worse, born with wings but unable to fly, just like I can't. I wouldn't wish my life on any pony, let alone my own foals. Yes, our family is rich, but bits can't buy happiness. Rainbow Dash has taken me flying, held me up in her hooves, while my wings were flapping to give me the illusion of flying. It was great. The problem with marriage is that no matter who I choose, I feel like I would be choosing wrong. And there are no unicorn colts in Ponyville that I'm interested in. so that's not even an option. May considered her daughter's point of view academically. You think a unicorn would be a better partner? At least for you? Scootaloo shrugged, a little uncomfortable about having to defend her thought process. She spoke scientifically in a way Rainbow Dash would call egghead language, and that her friends had never seen her use. Scootaloo hid her intelligence under her rough and brass-seeking of nature, which ironically enough made her not too different from her parents. Genetically? Sure, if my foals were born as unicorns, being 50% unicorn, 25% Pegasus, and 25% Earth Pony, even if their magic was weak, at least they'd still be able to cast spells. It's not the same as having wings but still being unable to fly. Snap seemed to understand where Scootaloo was coming from. Do you resent me for being your dad? Scootaloo sighed. Resentment might be a strong word. You've loved me as much as you could, but you're never here. I get the short end of the stick here. Maybe nature was going to take its course eventually, but most ponies marry their own tribe. Most ponies say it was a foregone conclusion that the two of you would marry given how much time you spend together. But let's be honest for a change. I wasn't planned, and being not fully Pegasi, not fully Earth Pony forced you to abandon plans for more foals. Mane and Snap looked at each other again. They didn't know how to answer the question. A lie would be easy to tell, but not easy to back up. Mane decided to tell the closest thing to the truth that she could justify. You're right. We're too busy for foals. Neither of us wanted to put you up for adoption, so we did what we had to do to keep you without losing our careers. But not having more foals was less to do with not wanting another foal with a disability, and more to do with us not wanting to do to you what Hondo Flanks and Cookie Crumble did to Rarity. We didn't want another foal just to force you to help raise your younger brother or sister. It wouldn't have been fair to you. Scootaloo appraised them. That sounds like the closest thing to the truth that I'll ever get. It's not enough, but I'll have to settle for it the same way you'll have to settle on me not getting married or giving you grand foals. Scootaloo left the room. Mane and Snap's vacation came to an end, and they returned to the jungles of South Equestria. They went to their forward base of operations, a little hut in the middle of nowhere. They walked in and were greeted by two foals, a Pegasus filly 2 years younger than Scootaloo, and an Earth Pony colt 4 years younger than Scootaloo.
Mum! Dad! How was Scootaloo?
Mane had to fight to keep tears from her eyes. She's fine, dear, and she loves you both very much. The filly, Sky Dancer, did a backflip assisted with her fully functional wings.
I hope we can meet her someday.
The colt, Jungle Mist, nodded.
Yeah, I bet she's so much fun, even not being able to fly.
Snap had to calm the welling of emotions within himself. I'm sure you'll both get your chance someday, but you have to understand that with your sister's disability, she's a little resentful of Sky being able to fly when she can't, and of not having full Earth Pony strength like you, Jungle. When you do eventually meet her, you'll have to be careful not to hurt her feelings. The foals nodded seriously before returning to the game they were playing before their parents had come home. Snap held Mane while she cried. I don't know if we'll ever be able to tell Scootaloo about her siblings. It'll break her heart that we kept this from her for so long. Snap nodded. We've both made a lot of mistakes. Our biggest mistake was not telling her sooner. The longer we hide this, the harder it'll be to tell her. But after our latest visit and all the new lies we told while trying to answer her questions without telling her about sky and jungle, I think letting her hate us but giving her the siblings that she always wanted might be the lesser of two evils. Maine shook her head. No, I don't want her to hate us. We have to find a way to tell her with a net zero loss. Snap chuckled. Always the scientist. Matters of the heart can't be measured in such ways. To make it worse, Scootaloo was smarter than we gave her credit for. This can't stay a secret forever. Maine sniffled but nodded. I know. Just a few more months and I'll try again. We'll tell her eventually. I promise. Snap sighed as he lowered his head. You always say that. Maine smiled weakly. It's true though. Eventually true. Back in Ponyville, Scootaloo was staring at a picture she wasn't supposed to have. The picture was of her parents and two young foals that she had never met. She traced the outline of the younger Pegasus filly with a hoof, then the Earth Pony colt, studying their faces for any resemblance to her own. So, this is why, she whispered. This is the real reason. She pulled out a blank piece of parchment and dipped her quill in ink, then hesitated. What would she even write? To whom? She didn't even know their names. She set the quill down and picked up the photo again. The Pegasus filly was doing a hover in the picture. Her wings worked perfectly. The Earth Pony colt was standing tall beside their father. I wonder if they even know I exist, she murmured. With a deep sigh, she tucked the photo back into its hiding place under a loose floorboard. They'll tell me someday, she said quietly. I just have to wait.
Too quiet, I learned to stand alone. Parents chasing thunder, I called the walls my home. Half the sky inside me, wings that couldn't fly. I asked for love and answers, but only heard a sigh. Just what fate has made. You call me not a mistake, but shadows never fade. Somewhere out there, pieces of me live free. Someday you'll tell me who they are to me. You said there wasn't time for a family of more, but silence hides a story behind just what fate has made. You call me not a mistake, but shadows never fade. Somewhere out there, family waits unseen. Someday you'll tell me who they've always been. Until then, I'll wait with wings that can't reach the sky.
It's the Mystery Pony Fiction channel. Also available as a podcast on Spotify. And Izzy Moonbow is best pony, by the way. Fiction. Bro, hoof, comment, subscribe.